Hi there, welcome to Strum with Steve, Lick the Lockdown Part 4. This particular tutorial is called Spice Up Your Picking or Liven Up Your Frets. You might be wondering if this is going to be nothing but smut and innuendo and double entendre. Well, you'd be quite right. Some top tips here for you to rekindle the flames of what used to be a very passionate relationship you had with your instrument. And again, if you enjoy this, there's a PayPal link down below and all contributions are gratefully received. For a lot of blokes I know, their instrument is a she. They even give it a name. So if you're a he, this can be a her. If you're a her, this can be a he. Or if you're gay, it can be a he or a her. Whatever your chosen gender, you can choose the pronoun of your choice. Listen to how she sounds. And it occurs to me that there's a lot of people out there who have no particular interest in singing to anyone else or even playing in public. They just want to be able to sit in the corner and strum away and make some sweet music in private. Nothing wrong with that. And they remember what it used to be when they first met, you know, the aroma of a fresh guitar, you know, the excitement when it came out of its case, unblemished and untouched. And you couldn't keep your hands off it, could you? You know, you used to bash away for hours till your wrists were sore and couldn't rush home when we used to do that and get your hands around its neck. Now there's a bit of a problem. Lately, you know, it stands there on its own in the corner or hung upon the wall or locked away in the darkness. And when you get it out, your hands and fingers go to the same old places, you adopt the same old positions, and you pluck away at the same old tune for 5 or 6 minutes and then give up, leaving no one particularly satisfied. Anyway, I'm here to help. Look at this sweet thing here, you know, look at the curve and the grain, and maple, you know. And beneath the surface, beneath all the blemishes and the knocks, the wood is still untouched and unblemished, just waiting to be brought back to life. So get your guitar out. How have you been treating it? When was the last time it had a rub down or new strings or a polish, you know? What's the action like? You know, is it hard to press down the strings? Because if it is, you're never going to get to spend any time with it. A bit of a tip, if the action is hard, in other words, if the height of the string above the fret has got too much that it hurts to press down, put a capo on the second fret and detune it to concert. You know, you'll find all of a sudden it's easy to play. How in tune are you? There's plenty of apps for your phone and plenty of things, little contact apps, little clip-on ones. There's no reason why you can't be in tune. So here's a few little licks for you, just to sort of reliven your relationship. For a start, try this chord. That is 42 and 32. Do you remember my code? It's counting down the strings 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. From the thinnest to the thickest, it's 1 to 6. So 3, 2 is third string down, second fret up. 4, 2, fourth string down, second fret up. Listen to this chord. Just play it. Just let the instrument resound and the grain and the wood to warm up again. And if you're feeling adventurous, just move that shape up 2 frets and put your index finger on 52. Listen. And you can move that up again 2 frets. Isn't that sweet? Just that one shape. And if you really want a little show-offy bit, when you're in that middle position on the 2nd fret, begin to make a B minor. In other words, put your middle finger on 23 and just stretch it and move. I did that in a guitar shop in Brighton to this really bored, laid-back, indifferent guy who was working there. So, yeah, mate, listen. How do you do that? Oh, come back, come back. I just walked out, feeling smug. So here's your first position. Up to the 2nd fret. Isn't that sweet? Even seasoned guitar players will go, how do you, excuse me? So that's one little thing you can do. Here's another thing. Why don't you use some very, very basic and simple tunings just to make a sound that sort of surrounds you and engages you. Tune your E string down a tone. Use your tuner again. So now that is E down to D. And if you put your finger on the 12th fret, just rest. You've got these harmonics there. I'm just resting my finger so lightly, directly above that 12th fret. You can also do it on the 7th and on the 5th. Here's another little thing, try this. I'm doing another stretch again. I'm hitting 26. Isn't that nice? And what's great is when you hit the 3rd string, it stops it sounding. And you hit that. That's nice, isn't it? So try this shape. You've got your D down to E. Just play the beginnings of a D chord, but leave the top E open. Listen to it. Then move your index finger to 52, 5th fret, 5th string, 2nd fret. Now, you don't have to be accompanying any singing. Just to make that noise is an enjoyable thing to do, isn't it? And I guarantee people that are living with you that have heard the same old stuff for years on years will go, oh, that sounds nice. What's that? Here's another thing to do while you're in this tuning. Play a C, just an ordinary C, 22, 21, 42, 53, to think then, and just move it up. Because that C becomes a D, but isn't that a nice sound? And there's a way you can add a chord to that. Play 65 and 55. It's quite nice if you just go to a plain 52. And all I'm doing is, no, I'm using a pick. I always recommend using a pick. I don't have mighty thumbnails, but you might want to just go with your fingers. But a pick's, I think, slightly cleaner sound. So some little shapes there for you. There's another thing you could try. Play a full D and move it up to the 5th fret. How does that sound to you? And then go from a D to the 5th fret to the 7th fret. Remember that? Remember that? So that's just a basic D. Now, while we've got a D in that position, why don't you do the famous dad-gad tuning? So it's so easy to do. You've already got the D, A, D, G, dad-g. Now you just tune your B string down to A. So when you play 32, it should be the same note. Can you hear that? Okay, now you're going to tune your top E string down to D. Please don't break. So D, A, G, D, G, A, D, dad, gad. Do it with a tuner. But now that's a D, that's a D, and that's a D. D, A, D, G, A, D. Dad, gad. And if you play a 32, that's your sort of resting chord. I'm just going. Now, if you want to get some strumming accuracy, don't worry about this hand for a while. Literally, dud the strings like I did when I showed, like you did when I showed you some finger picking, and just go down, up, down, 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 up, down. This is in 3/4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Go down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, down. So listen how that goes. Down, down, up, down, 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 up, down. And you can do this. I'm just going to. Hammer on and a pull off there. Now why don't you play the beginnings of a C, but don't play the second string, just that. And then a 52 back to the C to the resting chord. So that's just a 52, sorry, a 53 and a 42. Then I'm just going down from 53 to 52. Okay? So that's C to 52 to the C. And that's a sweet sound, really, listen. So it's, and if you want, you can always do that 65 and 55. Rather than the 52. So I do my resting chord to the C. Sweet sound, isn't it? So those are some little licks in dad-gad. The other thing you can do in dad-gad is once you're on 32, just move that up the fretboard. You see, you sort of need to know where you're going, but even if you make the odd mistake, it has that sort of dulcimer type effect. Sweet, isn't it? So what you're doing is you're on your own, you're making a sound that surrounds you and engages you and makes you want to get your hands on your instrument again and sort of like have a sort of a bit of an affair with it, because this is all fresh. This is all new, isn't it? I hope it is anyway. So again, sliding your finger up the G string. I told you it'd be full of smut and innuendo. In a minute I'm going to try and find the sweet spot, but I won't go that far. And wherever it arrives, it just works, doesn't it? Okay, so that's some dad-gad tunings for you. So while we're in tunings, again, for the one other little bit you can do, try doing this. Tune your A string down a tone to G. So now, rather than D, A, D, you've got D, G, D. And the G is the same. So now, but you have to take your A string, remember the second string is in A, you need to tune it back to where it normally lives, which is B. And keep the top string the same. Keep the top string down at D. You remember you tuned that down from E to D, so now you've got G. So now you have from the bottom a D, a G, a D, a G, a B, and a D. And your chord begins from the 5th fret because this is an open G. That sweet sound? Listen to that. Come on, get a room. So try doing this. Try making the beginnings of a C chord on the 2nd and the 4th string. So forget about the 5th string, just hammer on or make 21 and 42. Is that nice? Oh baby, that's good. So all I'm doing here is 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Just strumming down gently like that. So what I want you to do is to put that shape on and again slide it up 2 frets. Just going to be getting slightly flat. There we go. Put on your shape, which is basically at the beginnings of a C. Slide it up and back. Just a little hammer on there. Play around with it. Try and keep it in a tempo if you can. Let's try it in that 3/4 time. How's that going? And if you want, you can take that shape up 1 more fret and make it. So you go 21, 42, 23, 44, and the final one is 25, 45. Sound good? Good sort of flat picking sort of rhythm in it. So I'm going to leave it at that, and I hope that's given you the enthusiasm to take your guitar out for a date and to show it some new little tricks, and you will be amply rewarded, I am sure, with hours and hours of what I hope is engaging and enjoyable music, even if it's for your own pleasure and no one else's. So all the best with that. I hope it goes well, and catch up next time.